And we are live. Miss Kia, Queen Kia, the best virtual assistant or lead specialist in all the land. How are you, Kia?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Thank you for having me, John.
Okay. So I'm very excited about this. Kia is part of the heart and soul of Grayline Investments. So I'm really excited to talk to her live. We've been planning this for about 3 weeks, and she keeps canceling because she's nervous. But you
Oh,
feel
that's not true.
it? It is so. You feel good though? We ready to jump into this? I'm going to ask you some tough questions, Kia.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Okay,
Far
perfect.
away, John.
First, I'm in New York, right? I'm
Uh-huh.
about 50 miles north of New York City, and some
Hmm.
people just can't believe that we buy real estate virtually, right? And part
Hmm.
of how we buy real estate virtually is we've got an awesome team that's not only located all across the United States, but is located all across the globe. So, where are you currently located, Kia?
Yeah, well, actually, I'm located here in the Philippines, and that question that you got from other investors or interested investors, that is actually a great question because before I enter your company, I thought that working in a real estate, you just have to be on the road every time. That's how I know
Uh-huh.
it because I rely heavily on movies for foreign people, and I just knew that it's really possible to buy properties virtually. So yeah.
That's great. This is good. This is good. We started, and I was wondering if you're going to be a little nervous. And I asked you your first question. You're like a TV reporter or something. You're perfect. You were made for this. All right. So, Miss Kia, what is a virtual assistant?
Yeah, so a virtual assistant, obviously from what you call it, it's like your staff or employee, but that person is working virtually. It doesn't have to be in a third world country, just like the Philippines. You can have a virtual assistant as well in the United States. However, the rates are different. So yeah, that is a virtual assistant.
Yes, and I think a lot of people go by virtual assistant. We actually call, what do you think in the industry? Some people kind of look down on the term virtual assistant. What do you think? You think that can be a negative term, or don't you really care? What do you think, Kia?
Honestly, here in the Philippines, being a virtual assistant is not a big thing since virtual assistant here mostly work for foreign companies. So it means that we're bilingual here. So they don't really think that is a bad thing. I am just not here in the United States.
Yeah, we just want to make sure. I think there's some real estate companies or companies in the US that tend to look down on their overseas team members. And we really try to make it a point to include all of our team into the company culture and make sure everyone
Mhm.
seems valued. So, why do you think there are so many virtual assistants in the Philippines? Out of all the countries in the world, what's unique about the Philippines, Kia?
Yeah, well, about that, since there's a large, portion of um, there's a lot of companies outsourcing in the Philippines. So there's a lot of bilinguals here working for the call center, in the call center industry. And I think that's one of the advantage of getting a virtual assistant here, since there's a lot of um, BPO or business process outsourcing companies. Then there's a lot of bilinguals speaking in English.
Gotcha, gotcha. And what are some of the things that you like about being a virtual assistant, Kia?
Yeah, one of the things that I really love about being a virtual assistant is I can manage my time well. And unlike when I was working in the BPO or in the call center industry, it was really hard because I have to work for, I think, 9 hours. I need to be in the office for 9 hours because we work for 8 hours and then 1 hour for lunch. Then I still have to go and commute. So, yeah, I think that's one of the things that I really love being about a virtual assistant is that we can manage our time well compared to office-based employees.
Gotcha. And then what kind of tasks does a typical virtual assistant do, or is there a typical virtual assistant, or how do you think about that?
No, you see, there's no typical virtual assistant. It depends on what niche you would like to go for. Let's say that you're a programmer, you can still be a virtual assistant, and you can work for, website or companies. There are actually a lot of companies looking for virtual base or employees that are not based in the U.S.
Gotcha. What do you think some potential misconceptions are about virtual assistants? What do, especially with, I mean, some of the people watching are probably real estate investors, right? So what do you think some ideas real estate investors have about virtual assistants that could be wrong are?
Yeah. Well, about that question, to be honest, I'll be totally honest with the people who's watching. This is my first time to be a virtual assistant, and it's with Greyline. And I think one of the misconceptions about virtual assistant is that they're just literally assistants. They can't decide or manage their own team, and that's what I really like about Greyline because you give us the opportunity to grow in your company.
Excellent. That's a great answer. I appreciate it. I told you to say that, right? No. What about some people? I think your English is great, right? But maybe some people might be able to hear a slight accent, right? And I know
Mhm.
everyone's trying to work on their accent here and there. But if you do have a slight accent, or if some of the virtual assistants do have a slight accent, how is it talking with? We do a lot of business in Texas. Do you ever have people on the phone that are like, "Wait a second, are you a virtual assistant located in the Philippines?" Do you ever get questions like that, or do they just assume you're American, or kind of how does that work?
No, they never actually asked about that. That's
Oh yeah,
actually surprising because personally, I think I still have an accent, and I'm trying to be as neutral as possible because I don't want to sound too American or sound too Filipino. I just want to make sure that the people I'm talking to can understand me.
gotcha. Yeah, so that's interesting. I mean, you've probably talked to 1,000 people with our company, and no one has
Mhm.
ever said like, "Hey, are you in the Philippines?" That's interesting.
No, I never got that question, luckily.
All right, so I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. What
Okay.
are your favorite things to do in with Grayline, our company? What's your favorite things to do with Grayline, and what are your least favorite things that you do with Grayline?
Yeah, well, my most favorite thing about the things that I do in Greyline are the special projects. It's because I feel like you don't really look down on us. It make me feel that you really believe in me, even if you already know that I don't have the background to do it, but you teach me. And I think I don't really have. Oh, yeah, I do have. I have the least favorite task that I have to do. I don't think it's really a task, but the least favorite thing that I am doing on a daily basis is logging out and not working anymore. Because it's so fun to work with you guys. You're all smiles every day, and I don't really know how you do it.
You're being too nice. You're being too nice. Thank you, though. I appreciate it. Um, so if someone, we'll do a couple more prep. We've got some people watching. If you're watching right now and you've got a question, go ahead and throw it in. Oh, I also need to say, smash the like button. Give us a heart. Give us a thumbs up. If you're enjoying this, that helps a lot of people see it. I always forget to say that. Um, but if a real estate investor out there, a virtual real estate investor out there, gets a virtual assistant and they're ready to rock, what
Mhm.
are some of the things they should think about right off the bat to make sure they get a good start?
I think one of the things that they need to look for is the background because most of the virtual assistants, especially right now since it's pandemic, there's a lot of Filipinos looking for a job virtually so they can stay at home. I think one of the things that they need to look for is the background. Even though they don't have the right background, let's say they don't have the experience, they just have to trust their instinct when talking to that person. That's why interviews are really great. And if you if you feel like that person is being honest with your questions, then I think you should get them, because in interviews, usually the questions are mostly psychological questions, and everything matters, even your gestures and your facial expressions. So
Gotcha. Do
yeah.
you remember? Do you remember any of the questions we asked you in the interview?
Yeah, I think I remember what if we will go there in the Philippines? Where would you take us? And
Hmm.
I mentioned that I will take you to Boracay because that's a great place, and we
Yeah.
can drink beer if you drink beer.
Excellent. And how long ago was that? How long have you been with Greyline now? I feel like you're turning into the elder statesman, or states lady, stateswoman. You've been here a long time. How long have you been with us?
Well, I've been with you for more than 6 months already. I think 7 months on February 4. Yeah.
Nice, very nice. All right, what are some things that maybe virtual real estate investors need to look out for? Right? Are there, uh, potential people that might try to scam people, or that aren't qualified or not going to do the work? Are there any pieces of advice you might be able to give people that would help them?
Honestly, I don't have an advice in regard to that, because I know that you're more experienced, especially if you're going to get people. You should be able to know that just by talking to them, because it's so obvious. It's gonna be so obvious if they if they don't intend to be honest with you and to work with you for long term.
Gotcha. Okay, we'll go final question here, Miss Kia. I know you don't like to travel, but if you had to travel somewhere, and I do know you like food though, because you always talk about it. If we met someplace, right? You brought your
Mhm.
family, I brought my family, and we met in a country, and we had dinner together. What would be the ideal country we would go to with
Mhm.
all of our families, and what meal would we eat in said country? What do you think?
Well, I think I will not go anywhere else, because I think, for me at least,
No, you
personally, the best
you have
country.
to travel. I love the
Oh,
Philippines too, but you have to travel, and this is no COVID either. No COVID.
okay. I think that would be Japan. I really love Japan, not because of the anime, but because of the culture as well as the food. I think Japanese people are very respectful, and they're disciplined as well, and their food tastes amazing. I don't know if you like raw seafoods, but I do. I do eat sashimi. It's a raw tuna, and any other raw seafood. I really like it.
I love sashimi, eel rolls. I would definitely go do it. The only worry I have is my kids are very, very loud. So if the whole family went, I feel like the Japanese people may kick us out of the country because we'd be too loud. But all right, do you have any final words, Miss Kia?
Yeah, I do have. I hope that everyone watching right now would subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow our page in Facebook, and join our group. If you would like to learn more about the smart way of real estate investing, go ahead and reach out to us, and we have a mastermind group that will totally help you.
I should definitely just stop making these videos and just have you do all these videos, because you're clearly better at it than I am too. Awesome. We really appreciate your time. There's one final question. I know I've said that a couple times, but this is actually the final question. Okay, is you get to pick what or which virtual assistant comes on live next time. Okay.
Mm,
So
okay.
whoever you pick, they're going to be locked in for next Monday, and I'm going to bring them on. So who do you pick?
I picked Diane.
All right, Dee, we're coming for you next week. All right. Thank you so much, Kia. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Really appreciate your time. And until next time.